sister was sleeping with my husband after I raised her like a daughter, so I anonymously blackmail them to make them suffer a bit and then expose them anyway. I feel really stupid writing this since I know what I'm thinking can't really be happening. I'm having doubts about two people who are the closest to me in the world. I love both of them so much, and they are the most important people to me. I feel so guilty for even doubting them, but the circumstances haven't left me with any other option. I just want to know what's going on, but I don't know how to take the next step. Here's a little bit of background. My name is Rain, and I'm 36 years old. I live with my husband, Harrison, who is 37. We've been married for a few years now. Obviously, I love him very much. I told you, it really hurts to even doubt someone like him. I don't want to think anything's going on, but it is, and I just hope and pray that it's some stupid surprise or something, because I want to believe it can't be anything else. On the other hand, there's my own sister, Robin, who's 26, whom I love as if she were my own daughter. This is because Robin isn't just a sister, she's like my own daughter. Right after she was born, Dad left us, and Mom had to struggle a lot. I saw all of my mom's struggles, and I told myself that as soon as I got a good job, I would never let her work. The only wish I had at that time was to become the provider for my family and to take care of Mom like she took care of us. She worked really hard, had several jobs, and always made sure we didn't feel like we didn't have enough. My mom was the best. I worked hard, finished college, and got a great job, but before I could make my dreams come true, life hit me with a reality check. My mother passed away suddenly, leaving me with my 13-year-old sister. I was 23 at that time, and I'd promised Mom that if anything happened to her, I would take care of my sister. I'd like to say that I kept that promise. I took good care of Robin. I raised her as if she were my own daughter, so I love her as such. The first year was hard, but I always made sure that Robin was happy, and I always have. I even try to do so now, but she doesn't like it when I treat her like a kid. Well, she's an adult now. I only started to focus on my own life after Robin went to college. Honestly speaking, it took a toll on me to raise another person when I was young myself, but it was also a lot of fun. It was only after she went to college that I started to focus on my own life rather than hers. After that, I met Harrison, fell in love, and married him, and Robin moved a few months ago. She moved close to us, and I can't tell you how happy that made me. It had been a while since Robin lived near me, and I was excited to see her every day. Over the years, Harrison and Robin had also become really close, so I thought we could live as one big, happy family. Well, we did for the past few months until a little over a month ago when I saw something that felt off to me. You see, my husband has never given me a reason to doubt him, and obviously, I trust him and Robin more than anything. But you guys can read this and tell me if I'm wrong for being a little suspicious. As I said, Harrison and Robin are really close now, which isn't bad to me. But a little over a month ago, I saw something really weird. One day, I woke up with a jolt after having a nightmare, and it was around 3 in the morning. I saw that my husband's phone was lit up, and I was half asleep, so I took a quick peek. I didn't open it or anything, but I saw the missed call notification from a few minutes ago. It was from my sister. I freaked out, thinking that she was probably having an emergency, and I checked my phone, but I hadn't received any calls. So I waited like 10 minutes, and when she didn't call, I figured maybe she just wanted to talk to Harrison. This was extremely weird because Robin almost never calls him, especially that late. I thought that the next day Harrison would tell me he got a call or explain why he got that call. So I didn't say anything, but the next day, he didn't even mention it, which felt weirder to me. It's weird because Harrison would always tell me stuff like this. He would do it in a really funny way, too, so he'd never miss the chance to tell me about a call from my sister at that time of night. That was funny material for him. A few days later, I decided to let it go. I told myself that maybe my sister had something she only wanted to tell Harrison, and he decided to keep it between them. He also cared a lot about her, and I felt that if Robin didn't want me involved, then I shouldn't try to get involved. Right? But a week ago, another thing happened. While I was at work, an office buddy, Vic, called me and said he saw something weird. He was sent out for a work thing, and he told me he was seeing my husband on a date with a girl. Well, I was shocked because Harrison was supposed to be at a friend's house. I asked him, please, can you send me a picture? And he did. After thanking him, I told him to get on with his stuff. In the pic, it looked like Harrison was having lunch with my sister. I mean, this is weird, but I told myself it was just a picture taken at a weird moment. Vic had never seen my sister, so I understood why he was confused, and at first, I figured maybe they decided to have lunch together. It wasn't a big deal, but the pic gave me a weird vibe I couldn't ignore. So, when Harrison got home, I asked him what he'd done. I thought he would just tell me that he'd gone out to lunch, but he didn't. When I asked him what he ate, he said he ate barbecue with his friends. Since I was pretty sure he was lying, I decided not to confront him. I checked in with the friends he was supposed to be with. I acted like I'd run into one of his friends and told him Harrison missed him and was thinking of dropping by. Now, if Harrison had gone to see him the day before, he'd have said he was crazy since he'd just seen him, but the friend said that he missed him too and was planning a guys' get-together next month. I think this proves that Harrison lied to me. Yesterday, I talked to my sister too and asked where she was the day Vic saw them, and she lied. She said she was at work, but she didn't even go to work that day. At this point, both of them are lying to me, which is really suspicious. And as far as I know, they've never lied to me about anything. So why this? I keep thinking that maybe they're secretly planning something and they don't want me to know, but there's nothing coming up, no birthdays or anything. Our anniversary is just a few months away, and I don't want to doubt them. I feel really stupid thinking what I'm thinking because there's no way my husband and the sister I raised as my daughter would do something wrong behind my back. But I just can't let it go. It's like too many red flags to keep believing my husband is cheating on me and isn't having something with my sister. I guess deep down I already know, but I just want to know what other people with an outside perspective think. Before continuing, don't forget to subscribe. New stories every day. Update 1. 2 weeks ago I wrote a post here saying that I had suspicions about my husband and sister. A lot of you guys confirmed what I already thought, and trust me, I was feeling stupid for doubting the two people I love the most in this world. I was feeling guilty for thinking I wasn't trusting, but I couldn't just forget what had happened. They were lying to me, and I wanted to know why. So I asked you guys for help, and thanks to everyone who tried to help me. Trust me, I didn't expect even a single positive suggestion, so I was quite surprised. Right now, I need your support because things have gone completely against what I was expecting. Every minute, I hope to wake up and realize this is just a bad dream, but it looks like this is really happening. Let me explain. I spent some time thinking about what I should do. The more I thought about it, the worse I felt. People calling me suspicious and stupid wasn't helping. I decided to let it go and believe Robin was going through something and didn't want to get me involved, but a few days later I decided I couldn't just forget this. I needed to know the truth of what's going on. I promised myself I'd tell both of them what I'd done after finding out the truth if it wasn't something serious. The best way I felt to get something was to hide a small camera and an audio recorder in my husband's car. If my husband was meeting with her, they'd definitely travel in his car, and I felt I could get a good amount of information just listening to them talk in the car. I can't explain how guilty I felt setting this whole thing up. I set up the hidden camera and patiently waited until yesterday to check. I thought a couple of days recording wouldn't get me much, but the first few days of recording didn't show anything. In fact, it caught my husband spilling soda on himself, and I laughed watching it. I told myself if nothing happened, I would show him this, and maybe he wouldn't be that mad about the hidden camera. A few days ago, he dropped Robin off after she had dinner at our place. They were arguing about the family reunion, and it gave me the idea that something must be going on between them. I know this because after she left, I checked the recording from that evening, and both of them were talking about how they shouldn't have done this after the last incident. It was obvious that the last incident was when Vic saw them. They were talking about not letting their guard down, and Robin suggested that they meet less until things cool down. I've been collecting all the evidence I can against Harrison and Robin. I've put hidden cameras around our house because when I'm not there, if I have to travel for work, they're going to sleep there. I already have a lot of evidence from the car cam, but I can't use it in the first step of my plan. I need some pictures, like the one Vic took of them having lunch. So I took a few days off work when I knew they were going somewhere. I followed them. I got pictures of them holding hands, making out in the car, and kissing over a romantic brunch. The experience of doing all of that was leaving me devastated, but it was something I had to do. Otherwise, I would have no reason to see my husband kissing my sister. Now, what am I going to do with these pictures? Blackmail them separately? Yes, I'm going to make both Robin and Harrison pay a large sum of money. I'm going to make them sweat. How? You ask. Well, by making them think I'm some anonymous person who knows about their affair and threatening to tell everyone about it. I'm sure they'd be incredibly scared of that. I'm not going to actually collect the money, that'd be illegal, but I'm going to make them think for a while that I'm going to ruin their lives. But that's not it. Obviously, there's more, but I'm going to wait for the first part of my plan to work, and I don't want to tempt fate by telling you how great my plan is. I'll just keep you guys updated on how things are going. Update 3: It's been over a month, and things are going great for me. I couldn't be happier. Well, I would actually be happier if none of this nightmare was happening to me, but given the fact that my husband is sleeping with my sister, I'd say I'm doing much better than before. I would like to start this by telling you the worst part first because I just want to get it out of the way. A few weeks ago, when I was out for a work thing, Harrison and Robin slept together in our house, and I got the recording. I didn't watch it, but I had to check if they did what they did, and I got tears seeing them so happy with each other. I haven't talked about this because I didn't want to think about it, but I think the fact that Robin is betraying me hurts even more than Harrison's betrayal. I mean, I raised Robin like she was my own daughter. I took care of her, sacrificed so much for her. I don't just blame her, though, it takes two to tango. But the fact that she did this to me just breaks my heart. You know, I'm so glad Mom's not here to see this. She would have died of heartbreak. Let me wipe away the tears, and I'll continue. So, after my last update, I had the evidence I needed to blackmail both of them. I started with Robin because I was angrier with her. I messaged her from a fake account and told her I knew what she was doing with her brother-in-law. She didn't respond, so I sent her a picture of them together and asked her to keep this between us. As soon as she saw the picture, she asked me what I wanted. She took it very seriously. I told her that I wanted her not to tell anyone about me, not even Harrison, and that if she did, I'd tell her sister. She was scared, so she agreed, then asked me what I wanted. I told her I would need her to buy my silence. She asked me who I was, and I said, someone who happened to notice what was going on. She tried to lie and tell me she didn't have a lot of money, but I guess she had no idea I knew everything about her, including her financial situation. I told her to give me a large sum of money and gave her an hour to think about it. At the time, I was sitting with my husband because I was waiting to see if she would contact him. Luckily, she didn't, and my plan was able to move forward. She didn't have any other option but to say yes, and she did. I asked Vic, my coworker, to help me out with something important. This time, I told him the truth about what was going on. He apologized for starting all of this and said he'd sort of gotten the hypothetical situation. He agreed to help me with this part of the plan. I let Robin suffer for a while, making her wait for me to give her directions on what she should do. During that time, she made excuses not to see my husband. It really affected her. Finally, I told her that she needed to pick something up. I left some instructions for her. I could have told her through the means we were communicating, but what was the fun in that? It was much more fun making her travel to the other side of town, in a bad area, just for fun. I told Robin to bring a signed letter swearing she wouldn't sleep with her sister's husband again. Robin showed up with it, and I told her to leave it in a spot and leave. Vic had a friend of his pick it up. I tried to give him some money, but he refused to accept it. He said he was helping me as a friend. When the drop-off happened, I made sure I was around Harrison so Robin wouldn't have any reason to suspect. After this whole thing happened with her, I waited a week and then did the same thing with Harrison. Robin was stressed out after what happened. I even asked her if she was okay. She smiled and said it was work pressure. I blackmailed Harrison in the same way, but obviously I changed the profile and the place I asked him to leave the signed letter, and the person who picked it up. I also made sure that Robin was with me when this whole thing happened. It was so much fun. A few days later, when I asked Harrison what was up, he also said it was a work thing. Now, the only thing left to do is break things off with both of them, but not before letting everyone know what they've done. In 2 weeks, we have our 5th anniversary, and I think it's the perfect time to end this whole thing. I just have to act like everything is normal for 2 more weeks, and I think I'm strong enough to do it without punching Harrison in the face. Update 4. Sorry, it's been over a month. It took me a long time. I had to deal with a lot, and I couldn't find the time to write this. Now that I have time, let me continue with the story I started. 2 weeks after my last update, our anniversary finally arrived. Harrison wasn't doing too well, because he was still stressed about what he had done. Still, he didn't stop sleeping with my sister, even though he signed a confession saying he wouldn't. It wasn't like I was going to forgive them, as some of you suggested. I just wanted to mess with them a bit. And with the fact that even with that letter they hadn't complied, I had much more ammo. He was very worried, but on the anniversary, he was happy. I wanted him to enjoy himself, since it was our 5th anniversary. I convinced Harrison to invite his co-workers and family and to spend whatever he wanted from his personal savings to make it as big as possible. I also invited my sister's friends and mine. You could say that this party had almost everyone the 3 of us cared about. The party started well, and both Harrison and Robin were having fun. I was surprised that there wasn't even a hint of guilt on either of their faces, though neither of them was doing anything suspicious that night either. I was doing all of this in retaliation for what they did, but I did feel a little bit of guilt because I knew I was about to hurt them. Guilt that vanished quickly when I was laughing on the inside at the consequences. So, there was an anonymous gift among the gifts other people brought, and I insisted on opening a few in front of friends and family. Listen to this, I opened a few others first and then opened the anonymous one. Well, in that box was all the evidence, including their latest confession. And to top it all off, I made many copies within all the material. I have to tell you I acted really well, because everyone believed that I was seeing all of this for the first time. And for a touch, I dropped the box, which made the pictures spread, and slowly other people started picking them up. There was a huge commotion when everyone started seeing pictures, messages, and the signed confession. I didn't say a word, and then I looked at Harrison and asked him, "Well, what is this?" And I said it in a tone as if I didn't know about this since weeks ago. He was white as a ghost, and Robin kept looking at him. I yelled at her and asked her to explain what the hell this was, but she had nothing to say. I came close to Harrison, and I begged him to tell me that this was a lie. By the way, I was already crying at this point, and I did use some real emotion because just thinking about it makes me cry, but I was acting. He didn't say anything, so I slapped him. I grabbed Robin's hand and told her that I refused to believe she'd do this to me. She was crying, and all she could do was say sorry. She was shaking. She said she cares about me and that this was a mistake. People started yelling stuff at them, they were really angry at them for cheating. And it wasn't talking about people who would clearly be on my side, but about their own friends. Even Harrison's friends were mad at him because whenever they'd say to meet up he would tell them he had a date with me and he couldn't, when in reality the date was to cheat on me. And my sister's friends pretty much the same. Only they were complaining that my sister could steal their husbands or boyfriends from them. I immediately acted angry. I asked her, after everything I've done, this is how you repay me? She couldn't answer. I told my friends to throw her out. Before she left, I told her I never wanted to see her face again. I told her I'd sworn to take care of her, but if our mother were alive, she'd be so disappointed she'd surely relieve me of that responsibility and take it upon herself to kick her out. They dragged her out crying. I told Harrison that I was done with him. I asked him to take his things and get out of my house. He was also crying, but he didn't have anything to say. His family left, and his friends helped me kick him out. They even apologized and told me they had no idea. The only person who probably wasn't feeling bad for me was Vic. He smirked at me and gave me a thumbs up. It's been 2 weeks since then, and a week ago I filed for divorce. I learned that Robin moved out because I guess she couldn't handle the fact that everyone knew what she'd done. I hope she's miserable. She didn't dare try to talk to me. Harrison is about to move out. Nobody wants him here. His friends hate him, and his family has cut him off. I'm divorcing him, and the trial will be interesting with the signed confessions and all. I'm done having fun with them, and now I just have to wait for the marriage to officially be over. Update 5: The divorce is finalized, and although it's been good not having to split half my things with my cheating ex-husband, that's not what I want to tell you about. I want to talk to you about the aftereffects of cheating on your wife with her sister, or the aftereffects of betraying your sister with her husband. I don't know who to start with because I feel the consequences have been equally bad. I guess I'll flip a coin and whichever comes up is what I'll write about first. Okay, my sister. She moved, you already knew that. What you don't know is that she's being harassed by her friends, or what used to be her friends. And you might ask yourself, why are her friends so interested in my story? They aren't, but they are interested in the story about my sister sleeping with one of their husbands. So, even though she's blocked them, to start over in another city and make new friends, at least once a week she receives a barrage of comments with the evidence. Not just the ones from the friend's cheating husband, but mine too. I've given them permission to use them. I'd say the evidence is now humanity's heritage, if it is for humiliating my sister. And let's just say they don't just stick to comments, they send this evidence to anyone who comments something nice on my sister's pictures. Who, after that, don't comment anything to her again because they say they're freaked out about being friends with her. I don't know how long this digital torture will last, but it's been months and I think my sister's thinking about moving again. This is because her new friends, the ones who receive the evidence, talk where she works, and well, there's no need to send more evidence to anyone. And my husband hasn't slept with anyone other than my sister that I know of, but he was applying for a position in another state where reputation is important. He was going to be the face of the company, and he couldn't have a bad reputation, like being the sister lover as he's been called. A job he hadn't told me about, and that I think he was planning to apply for and leave me, to then leave with my sister. The job's gone with everything that's happened. The company has looked into his social media, where my sister's friends have also acted. So there's no job, and he's not taking my sister, because she's become radioactive thanks to her friends. And because nobody told him that, despite feeling so important for sleeping with two sisters, they were also two-timing him. I'll never understand people who cheat. Do they really think any of that will end well? Do they think the person they cheat with has the morals to be faithful to them?